this report shows that 500,000 tonnes of fresh wild-caught fish are being taken out of the oceans around West Africa, ground down into fish meal and fish oil to feed farmed animals in Europe and Asia. And a large proportion of this goes to Europe. Europe is a major market for the high quality, high value West African fish oil, for example. And we've calculated that this fish could instead be feeding over 33 million people in the West Africa region. And this is really impacting upon the women fish processors, the artisanal fishermen, and people who are depending on this fish for their food. In particular, for example, 70% of people in Senegal are relying on these same fish for their essential protein. And I think that means this is a broken food system. This is very unbalanced.
Well, why is Europe such a big consumer? And your report says that, our consumption has increased substantially over the last decade.
Yeah, I mean, the West African production of fish meal and fish oil has grown more than tenfold, actually, in the past decade. And Europe is a major market, especially for the fish oil. We know through our investigations that the fish oil is going to Denmark, France, Spain, and we also know that globally fish meal and fish oil is predominantly being used by the aquaculture industry. So 69% of fish meal, 75% of fish oil is being used to feed farmed fish. We also know that Europe is home to four of the biggest aquafeed companies, so Cargill, Ewas, Skretting, Biomar and Mowi. Now, they are not particularly consumer-facing companies, but then European supermarkets are sourcing fish, farmed fish, which are being fed by these big aquafeed companies. There is a supply chain link there, and I think retailers in Europe need to be really concerned about this.
We're having a few problems with your sound, but let's persist with this because it's such an important subject. You've approached, or you point the finger of blame at so many European companies. How have they responded?
Well, we gave them the opportunity to respond, and I think the main issue here is that European companies and European retailers can no longer ignore this as a major human rights and environmental issue. They need to be rapidly phasing out wild-caught fish for feeding farmed fish and farmed animals in Europe and also elsewhere in the world, and instead prioritise that fish for local direct human consumption.